Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Asnay Rayukusain from Group 14, Second Reporter. So our topic is about curriculum innovation. This is interventions made and proposed by curriculum makers to address some curricular lapses and concerns, thus achieving better learning through teaching. So, ang curriculum innovation is nakabase ito siya sa kung ano ba yung bago or kung ano yung mga pagbabago sa panahon natin. Unlike before na sa mga kapanahonan ng mga parents natin is nagbe-base lang sila sa mga books and library. Unlike sa generation natin ngayon na may internet na, may gadgets, in short, we always rely on internet or technology. Kaya mayroong pagbabago in terms sa curriculum or yung sa content ng mga curriculums natin. The next one is ADS or Alternative Delivery System. Our management system used in inclusion classrooms that provide support for students and maximize learning while being presented with the core curriculum. So, ang ADS is namamahalang system na ginagamit inside the school that provides students' needs para mapalaki or mapalago yung learnings nila till the end. And uses success-oriented presentations and the elements of collaboration and school-based coordination in its implementation. They use a success-oriented presentation na which is nakafocus siya sa mga tagumpay at sa mga elements ng pakikipagtulungan or the collaboration. So, ang goal ni ADS is to develop many creating ways of working together for the benefit of all students. Yes, to develop many creating ways which is magtutulungan sila para sa kapakinabangan ng lahat or for the benefits of all students. So, sa curriculum innovation is meron siyang global and local. So, ito yung global. Ang global curriculum innovation is meron siyang dalawang innovations which is the Project Child, brain-based learning. So, the first one is the Project Child, which is the computer helping instruction and learning development. So, sa Project Child is the lives of the children today are shaped by the demands of the information age in which technology plays a central role. Ibig sabihin, so nowadays is ang mga kabataan is mas nakafocus sila sa technology which is doon sila natututo like nanonood sila ng mga YouTube. Then, hinuhubog ng mga pangangailangan ng panahon ng impormasyon kung saan ang technology is gumaganap ng isang central role. So, ang goal ng child is to modify the school structure and create classroom conditions. Create a cohesive unit of work, train curriculum for reading, language, arts, and the mathematics. So, dapat sa isang school is kailangan meron itong mga conditions or rules and regulation just to modify the school structure. Na magkakaroon sila ng range curriculum for reading, language arts, and mathematics. So, the number 2 is brain-based learning. For 2,000 years, there have been primitive models of how the brain works. So, sa loob ng 2 years is merong mga primitive na models kung paano gumagana ang utak natin. So, in the year 1970, ang theory ng utak, ang brain natin is nakatuon siya sa kanan at kaliwang utak. It only focus on the right and the left brain. So, si Paul MacLean later used the concept of triune brain to refer to the evolution of the human three-part brain. According to triune theory, that survival living is in the lower brain, emotion were in the midbrain, and higher order thinking took place in the upper brain. So, sabi nga niya na ang utak daw is naka-refer siya sa evolution of the human tree brain. And that is survival living is in the lower brain. Tapos yung mga emosyon naman natin is sa middle brain. At yung higher order naman, yung mataas na pag-isip natin is nasa upper brain natin. Brain-based learning is an approach to teaching based on research in neuroscience. It suggests that our brain learns naturally. This theory is based on what is currently known about the structure and functions of the brain in the varying stages of development. This provides a biologically driven framework for teaching and learning and helps the recurring learning behavior. So, ang brain-based learning is nakabatay siya sa utak, which is ang diskarte sa pagtuturo batay sa ng neuroscience. And it suggests that our brain learns naturally. So, ang teoring ito is nakabatay siya sa kung ano yung kasalukuyang nalalaman natin sa structure and function of the brain at varying stages of development. Nagbibigay ito ng biologically driven para sa pag-aaral, which is tumutulong ito sa mga umuulit na pag-uugali and helps the recurring learning behaviors. So, ito na yung core principles guiding brain-based education. The first one is the brain perceives whole and parts simultaneously. So, yung utak natin is nagpo-perceive siya ng whole parts simultaneously or sabay-sabay na pag-iisip. The brain is a parallel processor which can perform activities at once. Yes, pag nag-iisip tayo is madali lang tayong makapag-isip kung ano ba yung activities na pumapasok sa utak natin. Information is stored in multiple areas of the brain and is retrieved through multiple memory of neutral pathways. So, ang information na nakastore sa bahagi ng utak natin is kinukuha sa pamamagitan ng maraming memories at neutral na paraan. So, learning engage the whole body. All learning is mind-body. Movement, food, attention cycles, chemical modulate learning. Humans search for meaning in innate. Search for meaning comes from patterning. Nga, yung learning is na-engage siya sa the whole body. Ang lahat ng pag-aaral, ang ating pag-iisip, katawan, paggalaw, pagkain, mga cycle na attention o mga chemical na pagbabago sa pag-aaral. So, ang paghahanap ng mga tao para sa kahulugan is innate or likas. So, ang paghahanap para sa kahulugan is nagmumula siya sa patterning. It comes from patterning. Another one is emotions are critical to patterning and drive our attention, meaning, and memory. And as stated there, that meaning is more important than information. Learning involves focus, attention, and peripheral perception. So, kasama siya sa pag-aaral ang nakatutok na atensyon at peripheral na perception. We have two types of memory, spatial and rote. Or social ang utak dahil mas mahusay itong bumuo kasabay ng iba pang utak. Complex learning is enhanced by challenge and inhibited by stress. Every brain is uniquely organized. Learning is developmental. So, ang complex ng learning natin is pinahuhusay ng challenges na which is hinahadlangan siya ng stress, like pag masyado tayong nag-iisip sa school na mga challenges sa loob ng classroom is na-stress yung utak natin. Is ang uniquely organized. Every brain is uniquely organized. Also, learning is developmental. So, let's proceed to the curriculum issues and concerns. Number 1, poor academic performance of learners related to issues on the varied implementation of the curriculum among schools and teachers. So, ang poor academic performance or pagkanap ng mga mag-aaral is may kaugnay siya sa mga issue sa iba't ibang pagpapatupad or the implementation of the curriculum among the schools and teachers. So, ang curricular innovation lack the sense of ownership from stakeholders. So, ang mga makabagong curriculum is walang pakiramdam na pagmamay-ari mula sa stakeholders. Some curricular innovations are results of bandwagon but are not well supported by managers. So, ang ilang pagbabago sa curricular is resulta siya ng bandwagon. Hindi mahusay na support sa mga managers. Number 4, lack of regular monitoring and evaluation, which is kakulangan ng regular monitoring and evaluation o pagsusuri. Innovation results to teacher burnout. So, ang innovation result, ang mga resulta ng pagbabago is naka-connect ito siya sa pagbagsak or pagka-burnout ng isang teacher. Number 6 is innovation are not communicated to all. So, ang pagbabago ay hindi siya ipinapaalam sa lahat. Ginagawa na lang. The last one is the responses to issues and concern sa curriculum. The BEC is an example of an innovation that tries to address the continuous decline in learners' performance in basic education. So, ang BEC is isa siya sa halimbawa ng innovation na kung saan sumusubok na tugunan ang pagtuloy ng pagbaba ng pagganap ng mga learners sa basic performance sa education. Number 2, in the installation of a new curriculum or innovation, all stakeholders should be involved. So, sa paglalagay ng bagong curriculum or innovation, lahat ng mga stakeholder is involved or nasasangkot. There is a need to respond to the fast-changing times in terms of school curriculum innovation. Committees should be formed to address or curriculum installation, implementation, and innovation. May pangangailangan na tumugon sa mabilis na pagbabago ng panahon sa mga tuntunin or pagbabago sa curriculum ng isang school. Dapat na bumuo ng mga committee upang ma-address yung mga curriculum install ng curriculum ng pagpapatupad at pagbabago. Maipa-implement nila and innovation. Number 4 is general practice seems to show that when a new curriculum is introduced or implemented, it ends without a report or result. New curricular programs have now embedded monitoring and evaluation on its plan. So, ang general practices seems to show that when a new curriculum is introduced. So, ang isang bagong curriculum is ipinapakilala o ipinapatupad, which is ito ay nagtatapos ng walang ulat or results. Collaboration in the implementation of a new curriculum is very necessary so that a sense of ownership is achieved and success is assured. So, ang collaboration para sa implementation ng bagong curriculum is very necessary. Which is gusto natin or yung ownership is ma-achieve niya and success assured. So that's all. Shukran. By the way, I am Asnaira Yukusain from BAIS 4A Irregular Student.